Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the Shop. I'll start off by showing you our vise. We painted it flat black. We totally disassembled it, wire brushed it, cleaned it, greased it. Wire brushed the paint off. It came off pretty easy because we did not use primer on this. It's just the way I preferred it. Well, last time I painted it, was cleaned down the bare metal and painted. The paint peeled right off. It made it a lot easier. But I got tired of the color blue. This looks a little older. Almost looks nicer with the copper there and the silver on the handle. There you go. We got a couple projects to do, so we're gonna go over and show you our new top we put on our desk and what kind of wood material we use to cover our desk with. Okay, we got this for our desk. Free hand set down there. 1/8 of an inch thick. You can probably find it in any lumber supply place. I don't know what you call it. It's almost mine. I called it like hardboard or something when I was a kid. It's kind of like pegboard without the holes. You can see the design in it. So I got two pieces because it's under $4 a sheet. We did have to cut it down to 20 inches this direction, and it's 4 foot. So it comes 4 foot by 2 foot, but they have to cut it down. We want it just to stop right when the edge started turning. We're not going to screw it down or nothing. We ruin it, we'll flip it over, use the other side, and when we ruin that side, we'll go to the next piece. So we got a supply probably for the whole winter time. But okay, we're going to do a project today. We want to make a scraper out of this old chisel. See where the wooden handle went in there and how beat up it is? I've used this and pounded on it for years. We're going to try to mate this and weld it on here. But we want to get a decent shape to it. I know a guy that wants another scraper, so might give him something special there. So we're probably going to chop some of this off so the diameter gets closer to this. I mean, it's not going to be a professional looking tool. It's going to be a working tool. But this is an old wood chisel and it's pretty nice. We plan on using our diamond, we'll show you, our diamond bladed motor sander machine thing to put a nice edge on this. Because I've probably chiseled some small bolts of this before. And this we're going to try to redo. This is made from a Craftsman square handled ratchet. I made this for scraping gaskets on a motor, like your head gasket material, and when you change your intake manifold gaskets. It needs redone properly. It's not ground perfectly flat. It was done with just a 4.5 inch grinder. You can tell that's not right. It needs to be done more like a chisel would be. So stay tuned. We'll bring you back when we get this thing done. We'll take a couple of pictures of this in the process though so you can see what I did. Okay, after many spot welds, we had to put a new spool of wire in the welder. We had flux core when we run out, so we had to put the regular MIG wire with gas. So that was kind of stressful. And we did it just sitting in our chair, and we had our little stool outside the door. It's a little breezy, but not too bad. We had to turn the welder all the way up. This stuff is hard. This stuff melted like butter. This stuff was totally hard. We had a torch on there one time trying to get this out of there, and the vise heating up, propane torch, but we melted a little bit. We'll clean that plastic up. This is an old SK. I polished it. You'll never be able to see it. It was made in another country. There's some big grain hauler semi trucks illegally running their jake brake. No, you'll never see it in there, but I can barely read it. It's SK. But it's made in another country. I'm not going to say what country, but I know it was not made in USA. The old screwdriver that wasn't any good, and I chopped it down and made a different tool out of it once. There you go, an old wood chisel. That'll make a nice scraper, huh? Actually, you could use it for a wood chisel too, but pretty good size. We'll whip out a tape measure here. Get a dimension. Sunday in the shop, we can goof off all we want, right? Well, this thing's about 10 inches long. The handle itself, I know, is 5 at least. Yeah, we'll clean this up. We may take just a cutter disc and go in there on a 4.5 inch grinder. Just cut that plastic away. And you're not supposed to grind with them discs, but I may do a little bit to get that down and take a flapper disc and try to shape that. Try to go from the hexagon to a round and make it look good. It's just a tool. Like I said, it's not going to the county fair. I always say that. You're not going to try to go win a blue ribbon with this, but I tried to get the handle straight with the, you know what I mean, when you're using it. So you're not like this with the handle and that's flat. So I tried to keep everything level, plumb, straight. It's pretty close for eyeball. Stay tuned. We'll get this done and we'll do another little small project. Okay, this just with a grindstone on the 4.5 inch grinder and a sanding flapper disc. So we're going to do a little more work. We don't need to keep this perfectly flat here. We just want a smooth transition. My hands get so dirty. I put on my welding gloves and stuff, there's dirt on the inside of them. So impossible to stay cleaning with gloves on. But we'll put on some of our latex gloves where we use the Dremel. And we'll try to clean that plastic up a little more. So we've already polished this one day for something to do to practice. So it'll look good. It's not going to look factory, but it'd be nice chisel scraping when we're done. We want to make it presentable. So stay tuned for more. Okay, we went all out on this. We took our sanding drum. We'd had one of our diamond bits, long skinny one, you try to smooth it. Then we tried these, which we're having a fun experiment with. These are stick-on sanding pads. They go on the end here. They'll last if you don't go too high of an RPM. You get too carried away, you bear down too much, they'll come unglued and fly off. It's good enough, it's a tool. Then we took various grits of sandpaper. I know this ain't a piece of glass, but it should be, but it's just going to be a gasket scraper. But if we could scrape this down like this, it ought to take paint and stuff off a piece of metal. So I say it's sharp enough. You don't want it too razor sharp, you'll dig into the metal. Beware if you sharpen stuff like this on aluminum engine. Be careful, you'll gouge into it. Okay, we're almost done for the day there. We're going to do a little work on that other scraper if we can find it again. The one we showed you made out of the Craftsman ratchet, and we're going to fine tune it a little bit. So stay tuned. Okay, all we did to this is take a file to it, because this is not hardened like it was before. It had been cut off with a grinder and stuff, and it's not as hard. It's probably super hard back here, of course, but it's kind of crooked. I don't want to mess it. See, it's at an angle, but I'm going to leave it alone, because if it'll do that on wood, it'll scrape a gasket off. Like I said, you can use it for a wood chisel. I'm sure I've used it for one. I have a cheap set of wood chisels I got from Harbor Freight, so I get by with them. I keep them tuned up just with sandpaper, but yeah, that's just a file on there. This was uneven where I ground it. I took a file and kind of flattened it straight. And one quick flip, this is the kit that my rotary Dremel stuff has been coming out of. It's that cheap one from Harbor Freight. There's the item number. I'm going to buy another one when I go in there someday, just in case they quit selling them, because I know I went through that. You buy a good kit, and then you run out, they don't have one. They used to have them in a big red box with a clear lid. It wasn't too bad, but that's it for this week's video. And thanks for watching. I hope to see you tune in next Sunday.